I'm going to walk you through the J&L oil separator installation for your Nissan Frontier. Included in the J&L kit is a fully assembled oil separator, mounting bracket, mounting hardware, and hose clamp. The tools you're going to need for installation is a 10mm socket and ratchet, a deep well socket, 10mm wrench, Phillips head screwdriver, standard screwdriver, a small standard screwdriver, a 1/4" nut driver is very helpful for this clamp, pair of pliers, and light grease or oil. Let's get started. Our first step, we're going to locate our PCV line. This is on the passenger side of the vehicle. It's going from the valve cover where the PCV valve is, comes around, makes a C shape to the intake manifold. There's a spring clamp. Grab that clamp with your pliers and move it back off of the fitting. And then to loosen this hose, you grab it with your same pair of pliers and you're just going to twist it as it removes. Next, we're going to locate a push pin on the wiper cowl, which is right about here. You're going to use your little flathead screwdriver and pry up on the head of this clip. Spin it around to get better access. Notice that the head pops up. You won't remove the head completely. Once you pop it up, you can usually just wiggle it right out. Next, you're going to put your J&L supplied bolt through the large washer and just slide it through that same hole. Now we're going to take our J&L bracket. You're going to hold that bolt with your finger, slide the bracket onto the bolt, and use that supplied nut to secure it. And I'm not going to tighten this up, I'm just going to finger tighten it because we're going to want to be able to adjust this. We're going to take our oil separator and our mounting screws, align the logos, and get our screws started by hand. You can go ahead and tighten up your screws. All right, now we want to lubricate our hose. So the longer hose that doesn't have the fitting in it, you're going to want to slide some grease in this or oil. If you don't have this tool, you can use a Q-tip. If you don't have axle grease, like I said, you can use oil, you use Vaseline. Dish soap will work. You just need some lubrication to try to push this all the way onto this fitting. And then I'm actually going to put some of this same grease on the fitting itself. You're going to want to pre-install your hose clamp. So slide that onto there and just slide it way up the hose. Keep it out of the way, and then you're going to push this onto this fitting. It's going to be tight. The fitting shank is very long, so you actually only need to get it at least a clamp width. I could see the barb of the fitting is right here. I mean, I got easily a ½ inch worth of hose past it. So if you can't get it all the way to the stop, it's not the end of the world. You just slide your clamp down. You may need to loosen your clamp up to get it past that barb. So once that's past it, and then I'm just going to clamp this down. You use a flathead screwdriver or a 1/4" nut driver, makes the job even easier. When tightening that clamp, it doesn't need to be crazy tight. I mean, all that was securing this clamp here is this simple little spring clamp which just holds pressure. The reason that our other hoses don't need clamps is that this is push lock hose, And like these fittings have different style barbs on them. They're much more aggressive, like what's on here. It has this this sharp edge. But we're going to go ahead and install the factory line onto our J&L fitting. Now if this fitting is facing the wrong direction, you know, say something moves in shipping, everything moves, so you can adjust that as needed. You're going to slide that onto the factory line and then slide your clamp back up. The factory hose is not a reinforced hose, it's not a push lock hose, so we want to use the clamp. Now our final step is to tighten up our bracket. This kit is compatible with our extension, which doubles the capacity. So you just want to make sure if you do use the extension that you clear the fuse box here. You could put the 10mm wrench here on this nut, but it is a serrated lock nut. So typically all you have to do is just kind of grab it with your finger so it doesn't spin. And then you can tighten up the assembly through the bolt at the top. So I'm just going to snug that up. I don't want it crazy tight. It's still into this plastic cowl, but that washer fits that hole very nicely. I just don't want to crush anything more than it has to be. That is way more than secure for this oil separator that only weighs about 7 ounces. So that completes your installation. Your average collection of most oil separator applications is about 1 ounce every 1,000 miles. This holds 3 ounces. What we suggest is that you check it at about 500 or 1,000 miles after installation, and that'll give you a good judge of how frequently you need to service it. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please reach out.